It's a terrifying thought, but this year on average, one little boy or girl has drowned each and every week. In fact, drowning is the #1 preventable killer of toddlers in Australia. And for parents, the really scary thing is it can happen so quickly, so quietly. One minute the child's there happily playing, the next they're gone. They're at the bottom of the pool. So with summer on the way, how can we protect our children? First of all, check your pool fence, learn CPR, and most importantly of all, supervise your kids. Don't take your eyes off them for a second. At first glance, it's distressing, but in this Sydney backyard swimming pool, toddlers are learning to drown. And it may just save their lives. It's called ISR, the Infant Swimming Resource. And while it's confronting to watch, instructors Richard and Rochelle Beasley make no apologies.
Every time I see a child, especially a baby, roll over and float for the first time, I cry. It's just amazing to see.
Truth be known, there's a lot of crying here. Many of these littlies don't seem too happy with their survival training. ISR is an intensive 8-week course, and in that time, whether they like it or not, children are taught to instinctively get out of trouble by swimming to the side, or if it's too far away, floating on their back until help arrives. It's controversial, some might even say cruel, but it's claimed this method will stop toddler drownings. So if in the process they're terrified, that's okay?
Well, they're crying for a number of reasons, and most people will say to us, look, I prefer to hear my child cry for a couple of weeks in lessons than for me to never hear them cry ever again.
In the last year, 40 children under 14 drowned, and there can be no more graphic example of how quickly and quietly it can occur than beautiful Queensland toddler Hannah Plint.
What's the exact address of your emergency? Yes, my daughter's crying. I'm doing CPR. Can you help, please? What's your address?
This is excruciating to listen to. Hannah's mum's frantic call for help after she found her daughter in the backyard pool.
How old is she? 2. Oh, please help me. Okay, I am. Is she conscious? No. Is she breathing? No. Okay.
Hannah was 2.5 when she died in October last year. Something in her parents, Andrew and Kat, died that day too.
I was yelling at her saying, come on baby, come on, you gotta breathe. And then her eyes started rolling back. I knew she was alive when I pulled her from the pool. But I just couldn't get her airways clear. And she died in my arms. And no parent should have to go through that ever.
Kat Plint spends her time wondering the whys and what-ifs of that cruel day. It all happened so fast. Harry, her youngest, was unwell and needed his nappy changed. Hannah, impatient and independent, headed outside. In the time it took for Kat to follow, Hannah used a chair to open the pool gate.
The last time I saw her bare bum walking out the door was when I was actually changing Harry's nappy, and the next time I saw her, she was floating naked in the pool.
Tragically, stories like Hannah Plint's are all too common. And here's another frightening fact. A toddler can drown in water as shallow as 5 centimetres. That means bathtubs and buckets are as dangerous as creeks, rivers and dams. But of course, it's the backyard swimming pool, that longed for and loved Australian status symbol, where most toddler drownings occur. So, how to stop the deaths? The Beasley's controversial cruel to be kind method?
Go! Down you go.
Or this less traumatic, more fun approach?
There he is. 8 days old. It's time for the baby to have a swim, okay? 8 days old. Come on, boy. Come on, Noah.
Legendary swim coach Laurie Lawrence has always been a bit of a larrikin.
Oh, Noah.
But in the last 30 years, he's also taught thousands of Australian kids how to be safe in the water.
Noah's 8 days old. We want to teach him a verbal trigger so that then later on we'll be able to submerge him. So it's Noah, ready, go. Boom. So we kick. Is he all right? Of course he's all right. Come around.
Within 4 months, little Noah will graduate to the big pool with the other kids.
For the forehead.
Laurie says while his lessons are fun, child's play for the kids, they're deadly serious for their parents because in Australia, on average, 1 child drowns every week.
It's like a personal kick in the guts, you know, you see it and you say, why? Didn't I do enough? So I see it as a competition to try to get 0 preschool drownings in this country, and that would be absolutely fantastic.
To achieve that, he's got a national anti-drowning campaign called Kids Alive.
Teach your kids to swim, it's right.
And you can't have a chat with Laurie without hearing his slogan.
Kids alive, do the 5.
Just do the 5. Fence the pool, shut the gate. Teach your kids to swim, it's great. Supervise, watch your mate and learn how to resuscitate.
And down, away he goes to Mum. Mum slides in, takes him.
Are these lessons about teaching kids to swim or keeping them safe?
It's both. By learning to swim early, you can teach them to save themselves. They still can drown. But if something untoward has happened, if they were to fall in somewhere, at least they've got some skills where they're likely to get back to the side and save themselves. Yeah. Otherwise, they've got no chance. Go, 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 go.
There's no doubt Laurie's message is getting through.
Go! Come on, boys!
As younger and younger kids join swim classes, more and more have been saved.
You ready? Here he goes!
But some say teaching kids to swim at such an early age could actually be giving them a false sense of water security. Is there any chance that swimming lessons are making kids and their parents complacent?
There is a risk of children becoming overconfident, but I hope not. I don't think so.
Fear is the key at the infant swimming resource classes. Some of the kids in your class don't look like they're having fun.
No, they're not having fun because we're pushing them. It's not, okay, maybe I shouldn't say not having fun. Our program's not about having fun.
The hope is children will see pools as places of danger. This toddler survival training is new in Australia, but in America it's been taught for more than 40 years. Children as young as 6 months saving themselves from simulated drownings.
There's been over 175,000 kids trained in the ISR program, and not one of those children has ever drowned.
That sounds like a pretty good statistic.
It's bloody good. Can I say that?
And I can claim too that all the kids that I've taught to swim, not one has drowned as well. We can all go back arguing backwards and forwards. I think it's just a philosophy thing. And my philosophy is that kids should learn to swim in a happy, loving environment where they can enjoy it. They shouldn't be traumatised or forced to do it.
Through my legs, Herb. Here goes Herb.
But whichever method you favour, equipping kids with swimming skills is just one barrier to drowning.
It's your turn, I'll help you.
Adequate, compliant fencing is another, as grieving parents Cam and Monica Harris know too well.
I walked out the gate. I closed the gate.
When the Harrises rented this home in Melbourne 6 months ago, they assumed the pool fence was safe and sound, well able to keep out their 2 toddlers. It was just over a month ago. Monica's attention was on 15-month-old Samantha. In those few seconds, 3.5-year-old Lauren somehow managed to get into the pool.
This is pretty much where I found her. And we found the, what's it called, the cleaning net, skimmer. We found it in the pool, so.
She may have seen us cleaning the pool and she's gone to help Mum and Dad.
It's her magic wand and she would push. Yeah.
I remember calling Cameron as well, just come home quick, Lauren's drowned, and I just kept working on her until the paramedics arrived.
I walked in, I saw the guys, they were performing CPR and pumping up and down on her body, and it was... But I touched Lauren a number of times. I went in and I told her, "I love you, darling. Daddy loves you," and I gave her whatever energy I could. But I will never forget. I don't know how my wife, Monica, I don't know how the strength that she had to get her out of the pool, and the trauma that she has gone through, and those images that are etched in her mind, but I certainly have horrible images that I will live with forever. They won't go away.
So I guess this area of the barbecue was a problem, according to council?
According to council, this was raised as a defect and not meeting Australian standards.
In the days since Lauren's death, closer inspections have identified more than 10 serious flaws in the fence. A fence the family thought was perfectly safe. Understandably, Cam and Monica are confused and angry.
Angry at life, angry at the situation, angry at myself sometimes for being away for that short period of time.
There have been laws and regulations around pool safety fences. But as far as anger, I'm angry that this is still happening.
Back in Laidley, west of Brisbane, Kat and Andrew Plint are struggling with their sorrow, trying to remember the happy moments in Hannah's short life.
I have to get some more petunias over there too.
Bye!
Their front yard has become Hannah's flower garden. But the backyard, even though the pool's been taken away, is a no-go zone for Kat and a constant reminder of the stigma she still feels.
I struggle to go out in public. It is quite difficult.
So is part of you assuming that people will judge you? And
Oh, I was blamed the night that Hannah died.
They just made the assumption that because it happened, we'd done something wrong.
Well, does any part of you blame yourselves?
Every day. Hannah died on my watch. And as a mum, you're supposed to protect your kids. But I couldn't be in two places at once. 350 people drowned last year here in Australia.
Hannah's death has led to Hannah's Foundation, set up by her parents to remember her and every other young Australian who's drowned.
3, 2, 1, go! Yay!
But as Laurie Lawrence and all the other swimming and survival instructors will tell you, one toddler drowning is one too many.
I'm not trying to make Olympic champions out of them. That's not the point. The point is if they learn to swim early, all these other benefits will happen and it'll open up a whole new world of wonder. Any water sport opens up for them.
And it might just save their life.
That's more important. It just might save their life.